Welcome back to your chemistry class, children. Today we are going to discuss about evaporation causes cooling in our first chapter. This is the last topic in our first chapter. So today we are going to complete our first lesson, that is matter in our surroundings. In this it is the last topic, evaporation causes cooling. So what we have discussed in our previous class, I think do you remember, that is evaporation and boiling and factors affecting rate of evaporation. All those things we have discussed in our previous class, isn't it? What is evaporation? Evaporation is nothing, a change in state of matter from which state to which state. That evaporation causes from liquid to gaseous state. By heating, liquid is converted into gaseous state. Even below its boiling point is called evaporation. What's the difference between evaporation and boiling? We have discussed already. That is, evaporation takes place at any temperature, but boiling only takes place at its boiling point. So that is the difference between this evaporation and boiling, isn't it? So what are the factors which affect the rate of evaporation? That is, the temperature increases, rate of evaporation also increases. So increasing temperature increase the rate of evaporation. So temperature is one of the factor which affect the rate of evaporation. Same like this, and that is surface area is more, the evaporation takes place at faster rate. So more surface area, the evaporation takes place faster. So surface area also one of the factor which affect the rate of evaporation. Same like this, wind speed. Increasing wind speed increase the rate of evaporation, isn't it? So whenever we will increase the wind speed, automatically the rate of evaporation also will get increased. So wind speed also one of the factor which will affect the rate of evaporation. Same like this, humidity. What is humidity? The water vapor present in the atmosphere is considered as a humidity. So the humidity will increase, means rate of evaporation is decreases automatically. Why? Because the humidity is nothing, the water vapor present in our atmosphere. So water vapor already in our atmosphere, it is more. So evaporation causes very slowly. So the rate of evaporation is decreases. So humidity is decreases, rate of evaporation increases. So decreasing humidity increase the rate of evaporation. These factors which affects the rate of evaporation. So those things we have discussed in our previous class. Today in this lesson, that is last topic, evaporation causes cooling, we are going to discuss. How this evaporation will causes cooling. So how evaporation takes place generally? Suppose if you are taking any water in a beaker or in a pan, if you are taking water, if you are heating this water will get generally evaporated. Water will get evaporated. So now the liquid state is converted into a vapor, that is gaseous state. What happens during this process? If suppose if you are heating this water, finally what will you get? Liquid state that is converted into gaseous state by heating. That is without heating also. If you are keeping water under that is sun rays, that it will absorb the rays from sun and it will automatically will get water vapor. Water will get evaporated and this water changes into water vapor. So this process generally we are calling it as an evaporation. So generally what happens during this evaporation? This liquid state, water molecules get evaporated in the form of vapor. So one state of matter, that is liquid state, is slowly converted into vapor state. So during this process, this liquid releases lots of energy during this process, isn't it? So releasing lots of energy, that liquid is converted into gas. So now what happens generally? That vapor it will absorb energy from the surrounding. So what this vapor will do? This vapor will absorb energy from surrounding. Absorb energy from surrounding. So generally what happens? So generally what happens? happens? This liquid is evaporated to form vapor. So now that vapor will absorb energy from the surrounding and gets cooled. So in this way, this evaporation is generally causes cooling. So listen carefully. During evaporation, what happens? With the help of heat or with the help of sun rays or in many ways we will do this evaporation process. So we have discussed about factors affecting rate of evaporation also, that is temperature, wind speed, humidity as well as surface area. So any one of this factor will affect the rate of evaporation. See, at the same time, suppose if we are doing a simple evaporation process, what happens generally? A liquid is converted to form gaseous state by evaporation. See, how this liquid will convert it into gaseous state means during this evaporation, that liquid particles loses energy during evaporation. So, it converts liquid state to gaseous state. Generally, that vapor particle, it is converted into gaseous state, that is vapor state. In that gaseous state, that vapor will absorb the energy from surrounding. What happens? The vapor will absorb energy from surrounding and gets cooled. So, in this way, this generally evaporation process causes cooling. Now, we will discuss some more example for this evaporation causes cooling. Do you know this? Perspiration. What is perspiration? See, you know very well. Perspiration. During perspiration, what is this? If you are doing some exercise or after running, we will get feel that perspiration. That is, we will get sweat, isn't it? Sweating. That process called that perspiration. During that perspiration, when we perspire, what we will do? Generally, that our body will releases some water molecules during perspiration, isn't it? So whenever we are getting sweating, during that time our body will releases some water molecules. So during that process our body will lose energy and will release some water molecules, and that sweat, that during that perspiration, that sweat, that water particles will absorb energy from surrounding, that is, it will absorb energy from air present in our surrounding. It will come in contact with that air and we feel cool in that time, isn't it? So after perspiration, what happens? During perspiration, loss of energy takes place and our body will get that sweat in the form of water droplets. And after perspiration, that water droplets absorb energy from surrounding, that is air present in our surrounding comes in contact with that sweat, that is water particle, and automatically what happens, we feel our body, it's cool, isn't it? So in this way, this evaporation causes cooling. Here also our body will release that water molecule in the form of evaporation. So after evaporation, that energy is absorbed by the atmosphere, that water particles and air both also come in contact each other, and after this reaction we feel cool. So this process, in this way, this evaporation causes cooling. So perspiration is one of the best example for this evaporation causes cooling. So after perspiration, we feel cool because of that rate of evaporation. Because of that rate of evaporation come in contact with that atmospheric energy. Both energy changes takes place. During perspiration, loss of energy takes place. After perspiration, absorption of energy takes place. After absorbing energy, we feel cool. So generally, this evaporation causes cooling in this way. Same like this, do you know earthen pot? What is earthen pot? Earthen pot. Do you know earthen pot? Generally, during summer, we will use cold water. We will like cold water mainly, isn't it? So during that summer, mainly all peoples will like cold water. Generally, nowadays we are using refrigerator, but mainly without refrigerator, most of the peoples, they would like to keep water in earthen pot. That is what is that? Mud pot, earthen pot. So in that earthen pot, mainly we will store water. What happens in there? generally during winter season, if we will store water in earthen pot, we will not feel that much of cool compared to summer season, because during summer season what happens, in outside the temperature is more compared to winter season, isn't it? So because of that more temperature, evaporation takes place fastly. So when we are storing that, when we are taking water in earthen pot, what happens automatically? This earthen pot contains some pores present in it. Some small pores present in it, small holes present in that earthen pot, that is matka. In that earthen pot, it has many small pores present in it. With the help of that small pores, what happens generally? Through that small pores, that water particles will will absorb energy from surrounding and keeps that water particles cool always. So because during summer always the outside, the surroundings always contain the temperatures more compared to winter season. So whenever the temperature is more, evaporation also takes place, the rate of evaporation also takes place at faster rate, isn't it? So temperature also increases, means rate of evaporation also increases. Due to that reason, during summer, if you are if you are keeping water in earthen pot, what happens generally? It has some small minute pores present in it. Through that pores, that water will absorb energy from surrounding and always keeps cool inside the pot. So in this way, we are getting this earthen pot water cool always. See, in this place also we are feeling that evaporation causes cooling, isn't it? So evaporation always keeps us cool. And same way we can say one more example, that is, we know nail polish remover, that is, it is nothing, it is acetone. What is that? It is one of the chemical, it is acetone. We will use it as a nail polish remover. So, nail polish remover. See, generally, if you are using nail polish, what happens? It does look like it is beautiful. Suppose in some way, since sometimes it is not nice. If we want to remove, we will use some chemical like that substance. If we will use that substance, what will happen? We feel cool, chill. We feel chill in that place. We feel cool in that place because what happens in that place, if that substance is called acetone. If you are using acetone on nail polish, it acts as a dust remover. On the same way, we feel cold in that place because we feel chillness. We feel so cold in that place because why we are feeling that chillness, why we are feeling that cold means in that place that evaporation causes cooling. Because of that latent heat of vaporization, we are feeling cold in that place. That acetone acts as a nail polish remover, as in the same way it absorbs the air from surrounding and we feel cool in that place. So here also what takes place, acetone evaporates and absorb energy from surrounding and we feel cool in that place. Same way, if we are pouring some petrol on palm, what happens generally? We feel chillness because this petrol evaporates fast. Because of the rate of evaporation, it will absorb energy from surrounding, so we feel cold. So here also evaporation causes cooling. At the same way, this nail polish remover or petrol or some other thing, if you are keeping in our palm, we feel cold because of that latent heat of vaporization, that is evaporation. That evaporation causes cooling in this place. So in your examination, they will ask some exam like this. During summer season in earthen pot we are storing water, always feel cold. Why? What's the reason? Means this is because of that evaporation causes cooling process. How this evaporation causes cooling process means, in all this process, earthen pot, during perspiration, using acetone, that is nail polish remover, or if you are adding some petrol on our palm, in all these process, what happens generally? In these process, evaporation takes place. Evaporation takes place. During evaporation, lots of energy, loss of energy takes place. Generally, during this evaporation, a loss of energy takes place. Loss of energy evaporation. And what happens automatically after loss of energy, that particles will absorb energy from surroundings and then feel that and then keep that particles cool. So in this way, this evaporation causes cooling. So in this way, this evaporation causes cooling. So in your examination, they will ask why this earthen pot keeps cool in summer days, and why acetone, that is nail polish remover, if you are pouring on palm we feel cold. Why petrol, if you are pouring on palm we feel cold. Same like this, during perspiration, how we will feel cool during perspiration, what happens, what process takes place. So like this they may ask questions, so see to them. And same way, next example, that is we will discuss about in same some example for this evaporation causes cooling. That is one more example, you know very well, if we will take one glass tumbler of ice water, what happens generally? Suppose if you are taking ice water in any one of the glass tumbler, that outside the tumbler, immediately after some time what happens, outside the tumbler also it is surrounded by some water droplets. Did you see that? Notice in your home also, just take some ice cold water in one glass tumbler or some other tumbler. You will take one ice cold water in one tumbler. Okay. After some time, you see some water droplets will surrounded on the tumbler. What happens here? Why that water droplets formed around this tumbler means outside the tumbler means because here also the evaporation, because of this evaporation causes cooling. What happens in that water particles will absorb energy from surrounding, that is it absorb energy from air present in our surrounding. So that air comes in contact with that water particles present, that cold water particles present in the tumbler. At both the reaction, during that both process, that water particle will get evaporated. That evaporated water particle again comes in contact with that air. So both again come in contact. After that, we feel cold because that vapor is converted, after gaining energy, it is converted into water droplets again. So that water droplets only, it is surrounded by the tumbler. So here also that evaporation process only causes cooling. So listen carefully. If you are taking ice cold water in a tumbler, that after sometimes that tumbler is surrounded by some water droplets outside. How it is possible means this also possible because of evaporation causes cooling process. What happens in this process? That cold water comes in contact with air present in our surrounding, and with the help of that vapor particles again it absorbs energy from surrounding and it is converted into liquid again, and it is surrounded on the tumbler. Okay, so in this way, ice cold water also have done that evaporation causes cooling process. Okay, and same way sometimes if you will see mostly during summer season we would prefer to like to wear generally what type of clothes, whether cotton or woolen. Mainly we will use cotton clothes, isn't it? During summer season generally we would like to wear cotton clothes generally. Why? What's the reason? Because already we have discussed about same earthen pot procedure takes place. See, in that cotton cloth during summer season mainly our body will do more what is that? Perspire, isn't it? Perspiration takes place. During that perspiration, that is during that sweat, what happens? If we will wear cotton dresses means that cotton cloths contain many tiny holes present in it. That cotton will absorb that sweat. What happens? That cotton will absorb that sweat. So it will absorb that sweat. After that sweat come in contact with surrounding and it will gain energy and we feel cool. The same process, that is evaporation, causes cooling here. See what happens during summer. Why we would like to wear cotton cloths compared to other clothes means because during summer what happens, that perspiration takes place at faster rate. During perspiration that our sweat glands will secrete sweat, isn't it? that sweat is absorbed by the holes present in the cotton cloth. So that cotton cloth generally absorbs the sweat. After that, after absorption, that sweat particle, that water particle, that sweat contained water particle, that water particle will comes in contact with that air present in our surrounding. So automatically it will gains energy from surrounding and it keeps us cool. It keeps us cool. So here also the same process takes place. Evaporation causes cooling. What process takes place? Evaporation causes cooling. So these are the examples how the evaporation process causes cooling. We have discussed now. See, what is evaporation? It is nothing. Evaporation is a surface phenomenon. Already we have discussed. This evaporation takes place even below its boiling point, even at any temperature. So this phenomenon is we are calling as a surface phenomenon. But boiling only takes place at its boiling point. So we are calling boiling as a bulk phenomenon, isn't it? So here evaporation takes place at surface phenomenon. So during evaporation, actually what happens means that during evaporation, that liquid particles gets converted into vapor particle. So during this process, what happens? The heat energy is what is that? Loss of energy takes place. What happens during this process? Conversion of liquid into gas, that loss of energy takes place. So after this conversion of liquid into vapor, then that vapor particle will gain energy, that absorb energy from surrounding. What happens generally? That vapor after conversion into liquid into vapor, that vapor particle will absorb energy from the surrounding and feels that particles cool. This process causes cooling after evaporation. So in this way evaporation causes cooling. So we have discussed some example. During perspiration also evaporation causes cooling, and that nail polish remover and petrol, and if we will pour some amount of petrol on our palm, during this process also evaporation causes cooling. And same way earthen pot, if we are cooling water inside the earthen pot, when we are using water in the earthen pot, always we feel cold. We will drink cold water because with the help of evaporation causes cooling. In same way, we would like to wear cotton clothes during summer because in this process also the evaporation causes cooling takes place. Okay. So listen carefully. In your examination also they will ask separately like this only. Why during perspiration, how evaporation causes cooling takes place, and nail polish remover during this acetone, when we are use nail polish remover, we feel chillness, how it is possible. And earthen pot, if we are storing water in earthen pot, we feel cold, how it is possible. And same like this, why you would like to wear cotton cloths during summer, what's the reason, in which process takes place here. See, all these questions they may ask in your examination. So see to them. So evaporation causes cooling we have discussed now. This is a very simple and easy process. Many questions you have in this topic. All questions are they will not ask direct questions. They may ask like this some application oriented questions. So see to that. What is evaporation? It is process of conversion of liquid into gas by heating. It's called evaporation. And what is boiling? It is process of conversion of same liquid into gas only at its boiling point. So evaporation is surface phenomenon, boiling is bulk phenomenon. And during evaporation, what happens generally? That liquid state converted into gaseous state. During this process, it loses energy. So that loss of energy will convert one state of matter into another state of matter. Because we know already, when we are converting one state of matter into another state of matter, in that place loss of energy takes place or else gain of energy takes place. That is, energy transformation takes place. So in this place, first loss of energy takes place, and that vapor particle after converted into liquid to vapor, that is the vapor particles absorbs energy from surrounding and it keeps that particles cool always. So same like this in all those process, these evaporation evaporation causes cooling. So in last class we have discussed about that is latent heat of vaporization and latent heat of fusion. So they in that also they may ask some questions. Steam and what is that? When we are converting that water into steam, in that time we feel latent heat of vaporization. Due to that latent heat of vaporization, we feel severe burns. That is during boiling water and steam. Steam gives severe burns compared to boiled water, because in that place that latent heat of vaporization takes place. Same like this here also, because of evaporation, that after evaporation, because of absorbing energy, that causes cooling. So this is the process, that is evaporation causes cooling. So in this lesson already we have discussed about states of matter. 3 states of matter we have discussed. What are the 3 states of matter we have discussed? Solids, liquids and gases. So solids, what are the properties of solids we have discussed? That is solids are, how we are calling that as solids means we have some characteristic, and how we are calling that liquids as a liquid means for that also we have some character, that is properties, and gases also we have some properties, and we have differentiated the properties of solids, liquids and gases already in the way of density and particles, intermolecular arrangement of particles, and what is that? That is space present in the particles, and then with the help of what is that? Diffusion. Particles, what is diffusion? That is intermixing of 2 or more substances on their own. So with the help of that diffusion, shape, volume, with the help of these properties already we have discussed about the 3 states of matter: solids, liquids as well as gases, isn't it? And after that we have discussed about the conversion of interconversion of states of matter into solid to liquid, liquid to gas, then gas to liquid and liquid to solid. And we have discussed about the triangle conversion of matter also, that solid to liquid, liquid to gas, gas to solid and again solid to liquid. So like this we have discussed about in triangle conversion of matter, isn't it? After triangle conversion of matter, we have discussed the process involved in the conversion of matter into one state to another state. So what are the process we have discussed? That is evaporation, boiling. So evaporation and boiling we have slight difference, that also we have discussed, and that we have discussed about condensation also. So do you know that condensation is opposite process that of evaporation? See, what is condensation? It is opposite to that of evaporation. Condensation, during condensation what happens generally during this process, this opposite process compared to evaporation? See, during condensation what happens, that vapor particle absorb energy from surrounding and it will again converted into liquid state. So this is opposite process of evaporation. During evaporation liquid converted into gas, but during condensation gas converted into liquid. So both also it is opposite process. During evaporation loss of energy takes place and during condensation gain of energy takes place. So both are also considered as an opposite process. And we have discussed about sublimation process also. What is meant by sublimation? That is conversion of one state of matter into another state of matter and without attaining any intermediate state. For example, solid state converted into gaseous state without attaining liquid state, as well as gaseous state converted into solid without attaining liquid state is called sublimation. So we have discussed about sublimation. So some sublimating substance also we have discussed. Same like this we have discussed about melting as well as freezing. So what's the melting point of ice? It is 0 degrees Celsius. What's the boiling point of water? 100 degrees Celsius. So always melting takes place at its melting point. Boiling takes place at its boiling point. So you have to keep this in your mind. Melting takes place only at its melting point. Boiling takes place only at its boiling point. So those things we have discussed already. So next finally we are going to discuss about 2 more states of matter, that is 4th state of matter and 5th state of matter. So you know already we have discussed about only 3 states of matter. Listen. So what are the three states of matter? Already we have discussed. That is solids, liquids and gases. We have discussed about solids, liquids and gases. These three states of matter already we have discussed. Now today we are going to discuss about a fourth state of matter. That is fourth state of matter, that is nothing, it is plasma. What is the fourth state of matter? It is plasma. Do you know this fourth state of matter is considered as it is plasma. This is the fourth state of matter. Mainly sun and stars. Generally the sun and stars glow because of this plasma present in it. What is plasma means? This plasma, it is a super energetic particle. It is a super excited or super energetic particle. It is super excited or super energetic particle. It is made with the help of super excited, or we can call it as a super energetic particle. See, during this plasma, it is considered as that is ionized particle. It is ionized particle. What happens generally, you know that rare gases, that is inert gases, we will call some gases as rare or inert or noble gases. Why we are calling inert, that word we are using means because mostly that gases will not react with other substance easily. Like what is that? Helium, neon, argon, xenon, radon. Like this we have some rare gases. So generally neon sign bulb and fluorescent bulb consist of plasma present in it. How we are telling this consists of plasma present in it means, that is generally neon sign bulb, it is consist of neon gas. What's the symbol of neon means? If it is Ne. What's the symbol of neon? It's Ne. What is symbol? It is a short way of representing one element. So this neon is an one element. How will you represent this neon? With the help of short way means by using symbol, that is N capital letter, E small letter. This is the symbol of neon gas. So generally that neon sign bulb, if you will see colored lights in our home, that neon, it is mainly that we will use it as a neon sign bulb. That neon sign bulb, that colored bulbs, how we are using means, this bulbs also contains the neon gas present in it. What happens generally when we will apply, that is high temperature to that substance, what happens? That gaseous particle slowly will get ionized. Do you know what is ions? That positive ions, negative ions, cations, anions. Do you know already? That ions, when we are passing electricity through this substance, that inside that neon sign bulb contain neon gas, and with the help of some other gas. So that gaseous particle, with the help of high temperature, what happens means it will get ionized. Because of this ionization, that bulb will glow. So due to this process, with the help of high temperature, when we are applying high temperature through that gaseous bulb, that gaseous particle will get easily ionized. After get ionization of this particle, that ions will move. With the help of movement of ions, the bulbs will glow. So in this way, this neon sign bulb and also fluorescent bulb. Fluorescent bulb also mainly contain helium gas and some other gases. What is the symbol of helium means? It is He. H caps, that is E small. H is capital letter, E is small letter. He is the symbol of, that is helium gas. This is also inert gas. It will not react with other substance easily. So rare gases also. So this fluorescent bulb, that is fluorescent tube, mainly contains helium and some other gases. Okay, so in this bulb also, if you will pass a high temperature through this substance, that is high electricity through this substance, what happens? With the help of that high temperature at low pressure, that fluorescent bulb will get glow because of that ionization of helium particles inside. So that when we are applying that, when we are passing that high temperature through that bulb, that gaseous particle will get ionized easily. So with the help of ionization of gaseous particle, that bulbs will glow. So in this way, that plasma will glow inside that fluorescent tube as well as neon sign bulb. So generally this neon sign bulb and fluorescent tube contains plasma. So this plasma is nothing but one of the fourth state of matter. Generally, sun and stars will glow because of this plasma present in it. This is high energy particle, that is temperature. If we will give more temperature at low pressure, generally what happens at high temperature and low pressure, that gaseous particle will get ionized easily. After ionization of gaseous particle, the movement of ions takes place. With the help of movement of ions, the bulbs will glow, that sun and stars will glow. In this way, we will feel that plasma present in this sun and star, as well as that neon sign bulb, as well as that fluorescent tube and fluorescent lamp like this. So this is the fourth state of matter, that is plasma. What's the fourth state of matter? Plasma. So generally sun and stars glow with the help of this plasma, that is fourth state of matter present in it. These plasma is made up of this ionized particle. How this plasma will glow with the help of ionized particle? When we will apply high temperature at low pressure to that gaseous particle, this gaseous particle will get ionized because of ionization of particle. See, whenever we are using that ionization process, during ionization the particles will spread out. We know that positive ions, negative ions, like that, the particles will spread out, and that during that ionization what happens, the ions will move one place to another place. Because of that movement, the bulbs will glow. So we feel that plasma present in sun and stars, as well as fluorescent tube, as well as neon sign bulb. Okay, so this is the fourth state of matter, that is plasma. And next we are going to discuss about that last one more state of matter, that is fifth state of matter. Do you know what's the fifth state of matter? Do you have any idea? That is we know that this is the last topic. Fifth state of matter we have, that is, we know that fifth state of matter is man-made. It is a man-made matter. Remaining all matters we will call it as a natural. In 1920, this is Einstein see. This matter is called as an fifth state of matter. It is generally called Bose-Einstein condensate. What's the name of this matter? Bose-Einstein condensate. Why we are calling this Bose-Einstein condensate means because Satyendranath Bose in 1920, physicist, that is Satyendranath Bose, he tried to made this fifth state of matter, that is Bose-Einstein condensate, that is BEC. BEC. See, this Bose-Einstein condensate, that fifth state of matter, how he prepared this fifth state of matter means, he used that super low temperature, that is at the help of that density, and he reduced that temperature, he reduced it density as well as temperature, and density also he reduced compared to normal air, that is 100,000 times he reduced the density of this air, and he reduced the density as well as he reduced the temperature. Because of this condition, he prepared this Bose-Einstein condensate, that is super cooled matter, that is BEC. Super cooled matter, he called it as an BEC, Bose-Einstein condensate in 1920. See, after 3 American scientists, they have received Nobel Prize for this Bose-Einstein condensation process. and this is called fifth state of matter with the help of by reducing density, that is 100 thousands. He reduces, that is compared to that normal air, he reduces the density, as well as temperature also. He reduced the temperature at low temperature, at low density. He made that super cooled temperature, and he prepared this matter, that is fifth state of matter, that is Bose-Einstein condensate. So this is considered as our fifth state of matter, that is Bose-Einstein condensate. By using this, the 2001, that is three American scientists, that is they received Nobel Prize for this Bose-Einstein condensation also. So this matter, generally we are calling this as a fifth state of matter. So what we have discussed in this first lesson, we have discussed about first what is matter. Anything which occupies space and has mass is considered as a matter. And feelings like hatred, love, feelings and are not a matter, we have discussed already. And with the help of this matter, we have discussed, that is physical nature of matter and chemical nature of matter. Physically, matter can be classified into solids, liquids, gases mainly, and that about solids, liquid, gases we have discussed the physical property. And chemically it is converted, it is divided into elements, compounds, mixture. About that we will discuss in second lesson. Okay, so here interconversion of states of matter, during that process we have converted by using temperature and pressure. We can convert one state of matter into another state of matter. So by using this, now in this class we have discussed about evaporation causes cooling. Why when we are feeling cool after evaporation, means because during evaporation loss of energy takes place. After that it absorbs energy, that absorption of energy keeps us cool. So only after evaporation we are feeling that is cooling process. So always we know that evaporation causes cooling because of that latent heat of vaporization. Now then, what is latent heat of vaporization? See, at particular temperature, conversion of one state to another state, conversion of liquid to gas. What is vaporization? Liquid to gas. So conversion of liquid to gas at 1 atmospheric pressure. During that process we are converting one state of matter into another state of matter. So at this temperature, at particular temperature, sometimes we will feel the heat energy is not changed. There is no change in heat energy. Only the heat energy is used to convert one state of matter into another state of matter. There is no rise in temperature. So this shows that heat energy used to convert one state of matter into another state of matter. So this type of energies we are calling latent heat of vaporization, isn't it? Because of the latent heat of energy, this process, the evaporation, causes cooling. And we have discussed about what are the factors affect rate of evaporation. And we have discussed fourth state of matter as well as fifth state of matter. What is fourth state of matter? It is considered as a plasma. See, generally plasma, the sun and stars also glows with the help of plasma present in it. How it is possible means because of this plasma easily will get ionized when we will apply that high temperature at when low pressure. Generally this plasma will ionized and it will glow. Bulb and sun and stars, everything will glow with the help of the ionized particles present in it. So this fourth state of matter we are calling as a plasma. And what is the fifth state of matter? It is Bose-Einstein condensation. There is Bose-Einstein condensate. Why we are calling this Bose-Einstein condensate means because in 1920 Satyendranath Bose, that is physicist, he only tried to make this fifth state of matter by using supercooled temperature. That is by reducing temperature and by reducing density. He prepared this BEC, that is Bose-Einstein condensate, that's supercooled by using supercooled temperature. This state of matter considered as a fifth state of matter. We have completed our first lesson, that is matter in our surroundings. So generally everything around us is considered as a matter. So recall about that matter, and in our next lesson also we are going to discuss about is matter around us pure. So already I have informed to you, in first lesson we have discussed about physical properties of matter. In our second lesson we are going to discuss about the chemical properties of matter, about elements, what are elements, and what are compounds and what are mixtures. About this we will discuss, and we will discuss about separation of matter also. How will you separate one matter with the help of physical property as well as chemical property. So about that we will discuss in our second lesson. So go through this, children. If you have any doubt, we will discuss in our next class. So we have completed our first lesson, that is matter in our surrounding. So what is matter? Characteristics of particles of matter. So you know characteristics. What are the characteristics of particles of matter? Previous class, very first class we have discussed. For that each and everything we know this activity also. So read your book once again properly and do your worksheet. In next class we will discuss about this doubts. Okay. So next class we are going to discuss about our second chapter is matter around us pure. Thank you, children.